So what is up, man? Yeah, let's start with just tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're at with your business and your background. And
Sure. So my name is Trevor White. I own Black Diamond Painting. I'm located just outside Baltimore in Maryland. So I went to school. I went to college. I have a bachelor's degree from West Virginia University. I stuck around and got my MBA from there as well. And then I ended up working in finance, a couple of big companies for the last 5 years. And just recently, probably in the beginning of January, I started seriously looking into opening up a painting company on the side. Ended up purchasing your course in March.
okay.
And then at the same time, I was also going through, licensing requirements because in Maryland, I have to have a contractor's license for,
Yep.
painting and that type of thing. So I kind of got that knocked out. First couple jobs I did were just smaller jobs doing, deck stainings, some railing work, real small jobs, but stuff I just did by myself. And then this past week was really the first week I started doing jobs that I use subs on. And that has been interesting.
Yeah, I sounded like it. I saw your post in the group.
Yeah, so the one, I actually had two jobs on Monday. The one went really well. The guy was great. Homeowner was super happy. She called me and told me how great he was and that she highly recommended him on any future job. So that was awesome. The other one, not so much. So the guy had showed up.
A different sub or a different job?
This is a different job. So I had two jobs on Monday. One went well. The second one, I had interviewed the guy. He seemed like a good dude. He showed up on time on Monday to this job. Got him set up. I showed him everything around. We were good. I left to go head to that other job to make sure the other guy had showed up. And then I get a phone call about an hour later saying that my sub had left.
Right.
And she hadn't heard from him. So I gave him a call, got nothing, gave him a text, got nothing, voicemail, nothing. I didn't hear from him for about 6 hours. And he told me, hey, they had dogs, they were barking, and I got an anxiety attack and I had to leave. So I was like, dude, that doesn't work. I got to, if that's the issue, then let me know, let the homeowner know. We can make arrangements to help you out. But going, silence for 6 hours doesn't work for me. So I had to cut him loose. I scrambled around that day to find another sub, to try to come in the next day and get it done. I met up with a guy who had replied to a Craigslist ad, a couple of weeks ago. He said, yep, he's available today and tomorrow. Met up with him, subcontractor agreement signed. He said he'd be there first thing in the morning. I get a call about 8 o'clock the night before saying, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know my daughter had a doctor's appointment. I can't do the job. So again, I'm scrambling to find somebody to fill this job. I get a hold of another company. I raise my prices up to, pay more because I said, look, I know it's last minute. I'll give you, I ended up increasing it by 50% on what I would pay. So it was a 450 square foot interior job, not huge. I was going to pay $1,000 to have them do it.
Yeah.
So he said, sure, shows up, not a big deal. I meet the lead guy there in the morning. He shows up, he calls his guys. They were supposed to be right behind him. And they said, yeah, we're not coming. So I had to go back into the homeowner again for the second day in a row and tell her, hey, I'm sorry again. I know this isn't ideal and I really apologize. And luckily she was very understanding. But I said, look, this is unacceptable. I'm going to do my best to work it out. I'm obviously going to knock some money off of this for you. So at this point, I have another crew coming out on Thursday. I explained my situation to them. I said, look, I'm able to pay extra money. I know it's last minute. I need you guys to show up. And at this point, if they don't show up, I'm pretty much just going to have to write her a check for her deposit back and give her the paint for free. And that's kind of how I'm doing it. But I'm hoping these guys will show up on Thursday and get the job done. I've just had some really bad luck with this one for some reason, and I don't know why.
Well, I'll tell you why, but we'll get to that. So
Sure.
The other job that you said he went well, was just a different sub?
Yeah, different sub.
And that sounds good.
Yeah, he went really well. I mean, he's a little slow.
Any reason you're not having him do this one?
So the main reason was he's not available on Thursday. So both the jobs started on Monday.
Yeah,
and I had expected him to be done on Monday, so I was going to have him come Tuesday, but he's a little more tedious. He's a little more detailed oriented. So that 1 day job really took him 2 days.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. That's fine.
The thing I'm getting at is you have one reliable sub and he is a solo painter.
Correct. Yeah.
So you can count on about $2,000 in production a week from him.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably.
Boom. So dude, look at that. You got $100,000 a year handled.
Yep.
So
yeah, no, Yeah, I'm trying to see the bright side on this, and I'm super ecstatic that this guy is willing to work and he's showing up. My biggest thing, I'm paying good money for this other job, and people are just walking away left and right. I don't know.
Well, so it's funny I'm kind of like laughing over here because, it's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
I remember when I was training college kids surrounded, but sorry if there's a little noise, man. I got a dog here playing with another dog. Can you hear
Sorry.
him?
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, there they are, man. All right. Well, if they're distracting, let me know because I'm going to post this video and I don't want it to be too distracting. They're going to be, unfortunately, I choose to play in my office. I'll close the door if it's bad. So I was training. This guy's one of my best friends now, actually. His name's Matt. He runs a painting company, roofing company now with one of my other best friends, Ben. And so I was the co-VP training Ben, who is the district manager training Matt. And Matt ended up being one of the top interns we ever had. Ben was one of the top district managers we ever had. And then I was the co-VP. And so it's funny because Matt was the leading intern. So he was the first guy we were going to go out and train. And we get out to his job site, me and Ben and Matt. So I'm kind of training Ben to train Matt. We're both training Matt. And we get on the job site, very first day, man, first job, his best crew was starting, the first crew was starting. We start these two guys. And this was when we were using employees. And we like walk around the house, we set goals, we make budgets, we high five the guys. We're like, cool, we're going to go get you guys some Gatorades, and we leave and we pull up to this stoplight. And then we're like sitting there waiting at the stoplight. And then his painters pull up next to us. And we look over like, are those your guys? Like, are those your fucking guys, dude? And then they just leave. They're gone, dude. Just disappeared, man. First day. So my point is that this just happens.
Yeah.
It literally just happens. And over time, you'll get better. Your picker will get better. Your expectation setting will get better. And you know what? Still happens, man. I mean, we're interviewing subcontractors right now for our company because we're growing so much. And there's going to be guys that we test out and they don't work. They'll do one job. It'll be awful and we'll dismiss them. And, I would say probably 50% of the subs, maybe 40% of the subs that have done jobs for us have been guys we wanted to keep around. And then a lot of them get to a point where we have to say, you're cut off for 2 weeks so that they can go and feel the pain of, not getting work from us and having to go get work from 2 or 3 other companies that are less organized, pay less money or pay slower, and they're working for multiple people and the work's not consistent. And then they're like, okay, we realize what you guys are giving us. We'll do good work again. And then we'll say, hey, we'll bring you back. We'll give you more jobs again, but you cannot mess with quality like you did last time.
Right.
And so we did that with the sub just a couple weeks ago, man. They were doing $15K a week for us. They screwed up 2 jobs in 1 week. So they are cut off now. And probably for a month because they're going to have a really tough time getting $15K work from any other single company. Give me 1 second. Let me go. Hey, Decker. Okay. You need to chill, buddy. All right. Sorry, Trevor.
Yeah, that's all good.
The wife's got an event all week, so I'm taking care of the dog. All right. So that's the first thing is you just want to understand that you're going to run into that. You're going to run into bad quality. You're going to run into people who don't show up on time. They don't. And that's going to be just kind of part of the process with bringing on new subs. Yep. Now, so we want to talk about 2 things. One is that that's why we value the good guys so much. That's why we bid higher, so we can pay more to keep the good guys. That's why we need to be organized with our own production and keep guys busy and pay them on time and be a great boss. Honestly, that's why we need to be forgiving with some of the good guys because even the good ones are going to screw things up.
Sure.
And I think one mistake people have is they have such a high expectation that they cannot be satisfied. So I think a lot of people, that's their issue. And see, I look at it like the value, the name of the game is to have great subs. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to go out and just expect I'm going to hire someone and they're going to know exactly how I want to be worked with, my expectations, quality, what to do in this situation, that situation, I'm never going to find someone who has the perfect work expectations because they've been out subbing for 20 other companies who have 20 different expectations.
Right.
And so when there's a problem, when there's a breakdown that doesn't go the way I want it to, I'm going to just use that as an opportunity to actually strengthen that relationship And I just got to be clear on what are my deal breakers and what are I'm going to give you one free pass and use this as an opportunity to set clear expectations. And all of this only works if I'm providing a lot of value. Sure. If they don't value their relationship with you, they have no incentive to abide by your expectations.
Right.
But if they really value the relationship with you, they'll do the things you ask and you'll create a great partnership together. So I think you've got to, number one, you've got to be a great guy to work for, providing good, consistent work, good pay. You're organized, you're keeping them busy. You're truly really trying to make them successful. And then two, use the breakdowns that aren't deal breakers. Like a deal breaker is they keep screwing up the same thing again and again, and it's causing a lot of problems for you. They buy the wrong kind of paint intentionally to save money or water down the paint. They skip prep work. They continue to not show up on days, like a whole day. Like showing up late, you're going to have to just set different expectations because subs are going to show up late.
Yep.
Stealing a referral from you. These are the deal breakers. But if it's like little stuff here and there, I just need to use that as expectation setting. So part of this is a lot of people just get so flustered and frustrated with subs that they just start overpaying them out of frustration to get good ones, and then they can't scale their business, or they quit the business, or they try to just use employees, or they start paying themselves. Most people give up. The key is just to be like, no, like, look, I can deal with problems. Problems are how I get to where I'm going. You know, this job you dealt with, it's not what you want. Of course not. You know, you don't feel good about that client, and you feel bad and you're embarrassed, and you don't know what to say when that second guy no-shows again. You're like, here's what I say. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing.
Yep.
This is not what you signed up for. I just want you to know that I'm going to make it right. I'm going to have someone out there Thursday. And if anything goes wrong again, I'm going to give you like this totally, like I'm going to do something to make this right. Right. Just as of right now, because you're dealing with this, I'll already knock some money off this job for you. And just thank you for being so patient with me.
Yeah. And that's effectively what I did. So
yeah, and I figured as much because you're a stand-up dude. So that's where like, you know, people are like, how do you hire, you know, how do you trust subs to do a good job? I'm like, I don't.
You don't. Yeah.
I trust me to deliver the good job. And if enough things go wrong, I'll make it right. If I've got to pay to paint someone's house to make it right, I will.
Sure.
Because when I do, even if I have to go through 5 pain in the ass subs and 5 problem jobs where I lose $1,000, like not just don't make money, I actually pay $1,000 on everyone, which would never happen. But if that happened, I'm out $5,000. But then the 6th sub is that one good sub that can produce $200,000 a year for me.
Right.
And I'm making 40% gross. That's $40K a year in production locked up. Now I've got to solve sales and marketing too.
Sure.
But you know, for me to do $1 million in production, I need about 8 to 10 painters. Call it 10 painters. That could be 2 subs. It could be 6, but it's 2 to 6 subs. And then even if I grow my business like batshit crazy, and I do 2 million or I do $1 million in my second year, that still means I've got like 18 months to find 6 subs in the worst case scenario.
Right.
It can take 3 months for me to find one. Just people get so frustrated with like in the short term that they don't kind of keep that in big picture, because it won't be that way forever. So you just want to look at what are the lessons you're learning from it, you know, and you certainly are, right? I mean, what are some of the things that stick out to you right away that like, if you could go back in time, were there any red flags you saw with people or things you would do differently already?
So definitely things that like, one thing I'm already going to start doing is if the homeowner has dogs, I'm going to make sure that the painters are good with dogs. I mean, that's just, you know, I know it's a one-off thing, but like now it's in my head. I got to make sure that's a thing that I got to, you know, be sure of. Another thing I think I want to do is maybe set up more than one in-person meeting with the sub and see if they show up 2 times just to meet with me before the job even comes. You know what I mean? And that way, you know, maybe one time we meet, just interview, and the second time I'll be like, all right, now we got to meet. We'll do like the W-9 form and a subcontractor agreement, that type of thing. And that way I'm comfortable if they can show up twice relatively on time to meet with me, it means they're hungry enough to want to come out and work. and maybe that might be a decent filter I can start applying moving forward. So, I've been thinking of these things on, how can I start trying to pre-filter these guys before, because I don't want to be in the position where I'm trying to call somebody 6 hours before a job's due and I'm just pulling them off of Craigslist because they said they won't work. That doesn't work long term. So.
You're totally right. Yeah. So basically, I mean, the punchline is being more thorough.
Sure.
Now, let me ask you, are you giving them, so what I do is I'll get all the applicants, I'll screen those down to the ones I want to call, and then I'll call them and I'll talk to them.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions first, like, cool, so what are you looking for? How many guys do you have? What kind of work have you typically been doing? So typical 2-story residential, what kind of prep do you usually do? How long does the prep take you? How long does a 2-story wood-sided home with medium prep take you and your 2-man crew? Do you do the painting or do you just manage? Do you have a paint account? Do you have your own equipment? Do you have your own tools? How long have you had your own business? Who's the last guy you worked for? Why'd you stop working for him? Okay. And then I'm like, cool. So, and what are you looking for, man? Like this, and then I'll turn it on and I'll say, okay, well, here's what I've got. I'm like, I have tons of work. Like if our relationship works out, I can keep you busy till the winter. I won't keep you busy over the winter, but nobody will be busy, as you know, probably by now in this business. So but if you decide to work with me and we like working together, I'll have job every week for you, like back to back to back until October. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'm not looking for someone who can come and do one job. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. I'm looking for someone I can work with consistently because it works for you and it works for me.
Yep.
I'll pay when we do a job. The way we do it is I'll say, hey Trevor, this is how much I can pay you on this job. You would buy the materials out of that amount. So if I say I can pay $1,800 on this job, that would mean you're buying the materials and I'm paying you $1,800 for labor materials. Right. I'll pay you the day the job is done, so you don't have to wait for money. Okay. Yep. And, that's basically it, man. I'm looking for someone that I can you can do a job. And as soon as you're done, I'll give you a check. You give me the check from the customer and you're on to the next job. Yep. So that's kind of how it works. Does that sound good to you? Is that kind of what you're looking for? Cool. So the last thing, man, is just pricing. Obviously, like you need to look at the jobs. And if I say I can pay $1,800 and you're like, that's not enough money for me, this isn't going to work. So what I'm going to do, Trevor, is when we get off the phone, I'm going to send you a text message with a couple pictures of one of my jobs. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's going to be the job that we would probably start together on. And so I'll send you pictures of it. I'm going to tell you the prep on it, the type of paint we'd be using, and what my price is per gallon in case you want to use my account. And I'll tell you how much I can afford to pay you. Yep. And you text me back if that looks like it, if it looks like a good price that you can make good money on. And if it does, then we'll meet at the job site and we'll start the first job together. Or maybe in your case, we'll meet and go over some paperwork, and then we'll start that first job. If that first job goes well, I'll have another one. If that goes well, I'll have another one. Once we've done 2 or 3 jobs together, we'll just keep it ripping.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Makes sense.
You're not along. Were you doing that, or is that just something you're like, yeah, I definitely will add that in?
So I was doing a lot of that. So I was definitely doing the phone call beforehand, asking a lot of the similar questions. You definitely mentioned some in there that I think I need to add onto my list. Such as
this recording. I'll get you this recording too, so you can.
Yeah, that's great. And then also so this last couple of times I've been doing it with these guys. I would send them a text message with pictures of the job. I would give them a full scope of work. Exactly the types of, because at this job I already bought the paint, so the paint's already there. So I told them exactly what paint, where it goes, the type. The prep's pretty much already done. And told him, I'll pay $1,000, and everybody so far has been like, yeah, that's great. I'll do it. Yeah. I'll be there, and that type of thing. Yeah. So it sounds like, everybody seems like they want to work until the day shows up, but I'm confident this, on Thursday, these guys are going to show up. I'm just trying to stay positive.
Well, the way you stay positive is with the stuff I mentioned, that's like, hey, look, this job's going to work out. You're going to do thousands of jobs and you're going to have unhappy customers along the way. As long as you learn from everyone, that's okay. And let's see. One thing I'd be curious about is, I think the guys who didn't work out are just not good guys, right? There's something we missed in just the screening, or maybe we weren't selective enough, or, I think sometimes people think subcontracting is just, wait, here's money, do the job, and people just do it. But man, it should just, honestly, like, that should just show you, like, that is literally the opportunity in this business. Yep. That's the opportunity. Because if you're running into that, Trevor, and you're a guy who's organized, you're on top of your shit, you're following what's in the course, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you're a smart guy, you're a person of integrity, and you're having this much trouble,
Yeah.
that's the opportunity.
I know it's gotta be widespread out there.
Oh, so bad. It's such a bad, and that's what our opportunity is in this business, is how bad it is. So, one thing I'd be curious about is, are you, the thing I mentioned at the end of the call when I'm kind of selling them on like, I've got endless work for you. I want a long-term relationship. You finish a job. I've got another one ready. I'll pay you on time, treat you good. It's a partnership. Do you mention some of that at all? Like, are you selling the benefit of working with you?
I do mention some of that. So one of the things I mentioned is, I pay you as soon as I get a check, you get a check, because I want to keep you guys happy. The other thing I mentioned is, if this works out, I tell them about a couple of the, projects I have coming up in the next, week or two, and saying, look, I got a big deck job coming up out your way. I'd love, if you guys do a good job on this one, I'd love to get you on that. And I can pay, about $1,200 for that job. And, giving them just a taste of what else I have in the pipeline. Yeah. Now, seeing as I do this part-time right now, I don't have, 20 jobs lined up. I've got maybe 5 right now for the next 2 weeks, which is good for me. But, also if I can find one guy, which I have, I can keep him busy. But again, I'd like to have, at least 2 subs that I can use in case, because we're busy, they go on vacation and they work for other people too. So,
or he walks off a job site or something.
Yeah, you gotta have that. So, but I do try to sell my company to them as a great place to, want to come and find work, because kind of the same thing. It's more of a partnership where if I'm successful, you're successful. We're both eating. You know what I mean? So if if you're getting paid, I'm getting paid, and everybody's happy, I want to make sure you are happy with working with me.
Right. Well, and they yeah. No, I mean you're right on the right pace. So when you start getting busier yourself, this is going to be like have momentum to it, because as you get busier and you get burned a few more times, you're going to kind of get, a little more like calloused in a good way.
Yeah.
You're just going to know what to be skeptical about. No. And dude, it's kind of like when people are hiring door-to-door marketers, they're so they so badly want to hire a door-to-door marketer that they're like selling the job, Yeah. And then they start getting, what happens is when you stop trying to get a door-to-door marketer and you start truly interviewing people and saying no to people and turning them down, and you start getting burned by subs so that you're like starting to challenge them and stuff, it makes people want to work for you more.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if you're just trying to give jobs away and you're overselling it.
Right. Okay.
It's almost like I don't know if you've ever been in a job interview where it's almost too easy to get the job. It's a turn.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
you're like, this is too easy. Like, I want to be challenged, man. Like, my interview process with people is freaking insane now, because the best people want it to be hard to get.
Right.
When we used to hire interns, I would do a group interview of 5 people, and then I would send 2 people away from the table in the first 5 minutes. Okay. I would just shake their hand and be like, hey, this isn't right for you. Thanks for coming in, though. Have a good day. And I just send them away. And dude, the other 3 people sit a little high. They sit up a little more upright in their seat after that. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, damn, this is okay. And it's kind of the same with subs. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely something I think I need to work on, because right now I think I'm too willing to give people a chance just because I need bodies right now.
Right.
But I think you're right in the sense that, once I've been burned a couple times, I already feel that I'm starting to get more. Like, hey, man, I need this done. I need to make sure you're a good guy and that type of thing. So
yeah,
I think you're absolutely.
And I'm sure you're aware of this, man. But this business only gets easier.
Yeah.
You will always have problems and challenges and struggles, but they are bigger problems and challenges and struggles. Sure. So the hardest money you ever make in this business is the first $10. It's like that first job, like that'll be the hardest $1,000 job you ever do, and then once you get like 2 or 3 good subs in 6 months, like if you just stick at it, like what's predictable is in 6 months, you'll have 3 good subs.
Yep.
And then you're like, okay, now I'm leaving my full-time job, and now I've got like all this time. And then all of a sudden, a year from now, you're like, dude, I can go and book 10 grand a week and produce it really pretty easy and make $3,000 a week. And then you're going to have another problem called, okay, how do I get to 15? And then it's like, now I'm dealing with time management as a challenge. And then I'm like, okay, now I've got to hire a production manager. And you know what's going to happen when you start trying to hire a production manager? Same fucking thing. Yeah, you're going to get your ass kicked there too. You know, you're going to hire a PM and you're going to count on them. And then they're going to, my production manager, he hates when I tell the story because I've been picking on for 8 years for this. But dude, his first month he works for me, he painted not one, but 2 houses the wrong color in the first 30 days working for me. 2 houses, man. Come on. Like the wrong color. I'm like, I get the first call and I'm like, you did what? And then I get the second call 2 weeks later. I'm like, you just did it again? And I'm like, dude, in 7 years, I've never painted a house the wrong color. So, you know, like he still works with me today, you know, and I'm like, okay, I didn't give you the right system here. Let's get this figured out. And he's never screwed up again. But, you know, it's just, the pathway to building this is the failures, because they teach you what you didn't know. They shine a light on where you were weak, where you were naive, where you didn't know something. And I know you know this, but I think it's good to just reiterate it.
Yeah.
It's just
it's definitely good to hear it, just because, you know, I know Monday evening I was just like super stressed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and now, you know, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, all right, it's one job. Even if this goes poorly and I lose money, like I've learned something, and at the end of the day, it's not going to make or break. Like I've got other stuff lined up. As long as I can make it as right as I can make it and do the right thing, you know, whether that be refunding the money and giving her the paint for free, or just finding another sub crew that'll do it correctly, I'm going to make them as happy as I can and move on and try to keep going, because no point in stopping now. I'm already so far into it.
Yeah.
Get something else.
You're not that far yet, but yes.
Where I started, yeah. I mean, I've already put a lot of time into this, so now would just be ridiculous. So
well, and you're in this for, look, I tell people, man, although this is a great business where you can make good money in year one, which most companies you can't. I mean, you did an MBA program, you know that it's rare that there's a business where you can profit in month 1.
Right.
And it's even rare that there's a business where you can profit 100 grand in year 1. If you're just going full time at this, like, it's crazy. So that's awesome about this business. But if you just learn for 2 years, year 3, you can go and do $1 million and make 230 grand.
Yep.
And then it continues to go up from there. So that's what I kind of tell people is like, look, you're not in this for year 1 or 2. That's not why you got in this. You got in this for, look, 5 years from now, I've got a $2 million company that's netting 400 grand a year, and I've got a staff that runs it. Then, you know, you've got a lot of years ahead of you, you know? So, and so do I, you know? So I'm like, what do we got? You know, this is just a stepping stone to who knows what, but that's what I'm passionate about too. And doing what I do I love the early success stories, because people get out of some tough situations, or, you know, they get like freedom for the first time, you know, like, holy shit, I'm on my own and I can actually generate my own income. Like, that's a cool thing. But the real cool thing for me, man, is when I talk to some of these guys who are in years 3 and 4, and some of those success stories I've told, you know, where like you're starting to see like the lifestyle unfold.
Sure.
You know, so just keep that in mind, I guess, is the point.
Definitely. All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's some good advice there.
Hey, buddy. This is Decker. That's my dog. There he is. Decker, what are you eating? Oh, well, he doesn't seem interested in me at all right now. I brought him to the office today, and the other dog was here. Our Foothills Painting mascot dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So what are you doing for normal work right now?
So right now I do something called financial and data modeling, which is kind of a mix between a financial analyst and a data scientist. So I deal with spreadsheets and computer programming all day.
Are you not really into that, or do you like it?
No, I like it. I don't mind it. I'm with a good company. They got great benefits. It's just, my dad started his own company 40 years ago. He started as a home improvement contractor. He's grown it, $15 million a year business.
Got it. So you see the.
I see the lifestyle he's got. He just bought his dream car. They're out right now in Tahiti for 2 weeks. Like, he's starting to realize this in his 50s, all the work he's put in. So I'm like, okay, I'll never be rich working a day job. and I feel like I'm not producing or creating something of tangible value. I want to create something. I want to do something productive, and I want something of my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just really what got me into it.
Awesome, man. How has the course helped?
So I think the course really just gave me a foundation for a lot of this stuff. So I think the most valuable thing in the course to me was all the pre-made templates and stuff. Because like as somebody who's working full time, like I just don't have time to make all the templates, the spreadsheets, the copy, all that kind of stuff was super. Just getting me kickstarted in, getting this thing moving, and then also going and listening to somebody like you who's already gone through it and trial and error and learned things and made mistakes about the right way to set up your business. Kind of using the three different getting your leads, doing sales, and then doing production, and thinking about it that way as kind of a general structure makes more sense to me, because I think when you just try to start, I think you don't really know where to start. Where would you start if you didn't have that kind of information? So I think it's very helpful from a foundation level, and then just
it's unfortunate that you still have to learn things the hard way, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's the best way to learn things in a way, because there's no other. You can read about it all day, but until you've lived it, it's not tangible. You know what I mean? It doesn't sink in.
Well, and I think the important thing is knowing that you can fall back on the course and be like, no, I am doing this the right way.
Right.
So it kind of gives you that certainty, instead of being like when you fail and you're like, wait, do I need it? You're kind of like lost a little. All you know is it's not working, but you don't have like that foundation to come back to or whatever. And then obviously the Facebook group's going to be useful. When did you join, by the way?
The Facebook group, I think I joined April sometime.
Okay, so it's been a few months for you, a couple months.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Cool, man. Anything else I can help you with for right now?
You know what? For right now, I think those, just generally that was the thing that kind of consumed my week was, bad subs and that type of things. But, hopefully I've got some stuff happening tomorrow that'll be positive, and I'll either find out if this crew is good or they're not.
And until then, you'll be holding your breath.
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, either I'll have another crew that I can use for another job, or I learned another set of people in this area that I know I can't work with.
Yeah.
Both wins. Both are wins in their own way.
Yeah, so. And you'll learn something else you got to interview differently about, and it'll be all good. And your client, you'll make it right. Yeah. So, cool, man. Well, hey, I know, look, the reason I was like, Trevor, set up a call is because you are so not the only one dealing with this, and it's normal. Well, we've done what? I mean, probably a couple thousand houses. So you're going to run into some weird stuff here and there. But I think, you run into weird stuff in anything you do. We're just in an industry where there's more weird stuff.
Yeah.
And that's also again, I've said it a bunch of times, but that's why there's such a good opportunity here, is because it's sloppy. It's not professional. There's people who just don't show up. They don't show up on time. You are well aware of that this week. So, anyway, but I appreciate the feedback, man. And I will, keep that in mind, sharing some of the hardships. I think these are good. I think these calls have been beneficial for people too, just to normalize some of the challenges and fears and struggles that people have. Because they're real, and yeah, man. I mean, it takes work, but it's worth it. So thanks for doing this, man. It'll benefit people.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time. It's been great.
Yeah, we'll be in touch, man. Looking forward to hearing what happens on Friday.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
All right, keep it posted in the group.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. See you, Trevor.
See ya.
Later, man.